Welcome to the broadcast, my dear fruit crumbles. I know some of you will ask, who is the gentleman in the picture behind me? I think it's a pastel illustration, and I have no idea who the gentleman is. I found the drawing at auction. Nobody wanted it. It was going for cheap, maybe 30, 40 quid. I can't quite remember because I got it 2 months ago, but it's taken 2 months for it to be delivered to me. I have no idea where I'm going to hang him, but I just had to have him. And the only thing I can tell you is that it says on the painting, "For Tony from Jeff, 1976. And he's a fine figure of a man. I don't know if that's Tony, but if you know Tony or Jeff, let me know. We've solved mysteries before of these things that I've purchased at auction with your help. So who knows, you might recognise him, but I'll try and give you a better view in another broadcast, or here I'll flash up some footage. But beautiful specimen, don't you think? Unfortunately, I can't show you the most beautiful of the specimens of this piece. I don't think YouTube would appreciate that, so you have a candle to admire instead. Sorry, but wonderful. Wonderful. Some of you also ask me how I glow. You very kindly pay me the compliment. Your skin's glowing, River. What are you doing? I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm suffering under heat. I'm really suffering. And I have to keep trying to remember to block my face with the muslin cloth. I always call them Muslim cloths. Ridiculous, isn't it? But it just slips out. Anyway, I'll try and get through without glowing too much. And I might be getting a bit hot and bothered because we're talking about the Duchess of Sussex. And, oh, but actually this is such fun. This is one of those days that makes it all worthwhile, doesn't it, my darlings? Because Meghan is a great big flop. Surprise, surprise, for Netflix. Yes. With Love, Meghan, as you might recall, gained huge publicity, didn't it? You couldn't wish for better publicity. And some traction, it has to be said, due to its poor reviews, mainly. And being met with widespread ridicule, let's face it. That's what got the numbers in. But in spite of all of that attention, it ranks at number 383 in the newly released list of Netflix's most streamed shows. Let that sink in. 383. Oh dear. I must admit, I never thought that it was going to be a million gazillion seller, but I do admit to being surprised that it has only garnered 5.3 million views globally since March. I'm astonished, and I'm astonished they've got the gall to actually release those figures. I mean, props to them, I suppose. I wonder if Meghan will now release the figures of exactly the stock behind her brand that has apparently sold out. How much exactly sold out, Megsy baby? As ever, the modus operandi for Meghan's viewership appears to be a spike for the first episode. Everybody wants to rub her neck, don't they? It's the car crash effect, isn't it? Everybody wants to have a look, see what's going on. Of course they do. For the first episode, for the first podcast, the first merchandise she releases. But then there's always a rapid descent into obscurity. That is the modus operandi. And this is a very worrying pattern for her brand, and something she's going to have to be dealing with, my dear, because she'll have people behind her, backers, funders, operators, collaborators that are expecting some sort of stamina. And stamina her brand does not have. No, it just has a sort of splash effect. The second series of With Love, which was filmed at the same time, as we know, so they were filmed in tandem, it was always going to be released, will perform the same way, let's face it. It's not going to improve upon that, but likely even poorer.
He would rather the poor were poorer, provided the rich were less rich.
We are likely to see even poorer figures.
He would rather have the poor poorer, provided the rich were less rich. That is the Liberal policy.
5.3 million. This time, what will it be next time? 2.3 million? We shall see. I could be proved very wrong. Of course, Harry's efforts, Heart of Invictus, very well-meaning, I'm sure, and Polo, didn't set the world alight, did they? They didn't really set it ablaze. In fact, I think that I almost get the same sort of viewing figures that attracts, or even more. But Netflix itself has had a good year. It's had a 16% jump in its figures. in its revenues, so it can afford to play a little bit, do you understand? And it seems that Ted Sarandos thinks that Meg was a bit of a rock star. Maybe he's got a bit of a crush on her. Who knows? She's been weaving her charms, bewitching the fool, another fool in her wake. So he might be happy to throw a little bit more money at her, even though Netflix isn't really getting a bang for its buck from them. By the way, British Netflix ventures have been performing extremely well, as they always do, but they had a very good year. I think the most viewed Netflix edition in the past year was that Adolescence. That is the most viewed, and it did very well globally as well. 145 million views for comparison, when you compare to Meghan's 5 million views. What did you think about Adolescence? I thought it was extremely overrated. I mean, if I hadn't read all the hype, I might have ended up watching it by accident thinking, oh, it's all right, but because it was so hyped up, I just thought, I cannot see what all the fuss is about. That is a triumph of style of marketing over substance, if you ask me. I mean, it was a mediocre show. Everyone's been raving about it as if it was some sort of Oscar-worthy piece, but it looks like it's going to be highly decorated and awarded. I actually thought that Baby Reindeer was much better. Baby Reindeer was fantastic, and that had a sort of more organic growth, do you understand, from word of mouth. Now, don't misunderstand me, I'm not saying that a frothy lifestyle show such as With Love would expect such high numbers as an Adolescence. Let's not get it twisted. But we are told consistently that Meghan is the most powerful woman in the world. She is the most influential woman in the world. She is the most dynamic, proud, confident woman of colour in the world. She's Oprah's apprentice, do you understand? Or in Meghan's eye, I should think that Oprah is her apprentice. She is here to teach Oprah a few things, including how to raise ducks, by the sound of it. Is that why there's been the recent very, very gentle shade thrown in Meghan's direction from Ms. Winfrey? What do you think, my dear, with the Sussex...
The Sussexes,
yeah, right.
They have them. So I would have taken the Sussexes.
It's not that difficult to pronounce the word Sussex. Is it, Oprah? It's Sussex. Maybe a few classes with Professor Higgins wouldn't go awry, wouldn't go astray, do you understand? In Hertford, Hereford, Hampshire, Hurricanes hardly ever happen. Can you try it with a group of marbles in your mouth? I'd love to see Meghan trying that, wouldn't you? The rain in Spain stays mainly on the plane. You can just see it. No, that was Southern. Don't prescribe to me how I should talk in England. Do you understand? I'm an American princess. By Jove, I think she'll never get it. Never get it. So where the devil are my slippers? Okay, I'm getting carried away. As I always do with the musicals, my dear, and the heat's getting to me. Blame the heat. And when it's cold, blame the ice. And when it's temperate, blame the mediocrity. Blame my emotions, blame the full moon, what can I tell you? The river has to deal with all seasons, all weathers. And you get what you're given. Get it? Got it? Good. Well, what you will notice, my dear, is that Meghan is going to be making increasingly, and has been making increasingly less dignified choices in her hustle. Not that she was ever dignified, but she is going to have to suck up whichever comes along, whatever opportunity comes along. And you're going to be noticing this, my dears, and it's going to be the same pattern as we've seen with her rosé wine. It's going to follow the same trajectory as all of these projects. Everybody's going to scoop it up out of curiosity and have one great big drunken evening, and then they're going to wake up with a sordid hangover that lasts forever, and they're going to be put off of buying it ever again. Do you understand? So enjoy your busy week of sales, my dear Meghan, and then come up with something else to merch, because people aren't going to stand the distance. They aren't going to be brand loyal to a brand that doesn't actually ring true with the bell of authenticity. Do you understand? Well, rather like the strapping gentleman in the pastel drawing behind me, I challenge you to keep your eye anywhere else other than Prince William's royally girded loins in this excursion into polo recently, where he was taking part in his 14th Royal Charity Polo Cup Guards Polo Club in Windsor, and he wore the number 4 shirt, and he scored a goal in a match that raised millions for 10 charities supported by the Prince and Princess of Wales. Up and down he goes, up, down, and he thrusts. Oh, and now he hammers at home, doesn't he, my dears? Oh, he beats at home. Oh, isn't the sporting life a joy? Pass me the smelling salts. Oh, Big Willie, oh, Big Willie. And I truly hate, I really do, to compare or contrast, but isn't it a refreshing change from the Montecito dandining that we all know so well, the Auburn dandelion affair with that bony ass and florid sunburn marauding the field with all sorts of vulgarity on the trophy stands going on between the Chandaukas and the Marcolinas and all the rest of it, my dear. What you see here is a refreshing image of a fine prince taking princely pleasure. And I'm here to indulge that pleasure whenever Catherine needs a day off, do you understand? Or an evening. Yeah, well, speaking of Catherine, she's been at the tennis, hasn't she? We're going back a few days now. But she was there, and also the Queen visited the All England Club, and she was welcomed by the chair. I'm sure that this gentleman on the couch there on the left has some redeeming features, but it might behoove you, my dear, it might behoove your character to sit up and take your fingers out of your mouth when a queen walks by and smiles at you. Do you understand? Apparently Her Majesty's presence interrupted these young folk while they were texting away. Some sort of texting of crucial importance. That aside, the whimsical dress was a delight, wasn't it? And there were also a couple of appearances, as I mentioned, from the Princess of Wales. She was in blue for the men's singles final on centre court, accompanied by the Prince, and Prince George and Princess Charlotte. Of course, they're old hounds at this now, aren't they? These little fledglings have peeked from the nest, watching Mummy and Papa Bird fly, and they flutter one day to soar. Isn't it a joy to see? They're learning so well on the job. It's being modelled to them. And those fierce eyes of Charlotte, oh dear, how they amuse me so, with flashes of the late Queen, flashes of the air, and folks, of course. Wonderful. Such fierce, knowing eyes. She will not be taking any nonsense, will she, my dear, through life? No nonsense. You'll never get the better of her. You're not going to get one over her. Watch out, Harkelinas. And she takes no bullshit. And then, of course, that contrasts with our sensitive George, who conquers his bashfulness and he reaches for independence, doesn't he? It was an elodie in white for the women's singles, where the duty befell Catherine to present the winner's trophy in her role as patron of the All England Club, and she brought the usual mix of joy and glamour, with an essence truly demure. Admired by all, the crown is in safe hands under Catherine's sweet caress. Catherine has the most magical effect on these crowds. People are genuinely stunned by her graceful presence, and I'm not making it up. You can witness it with your own eyes. They look, and the smiles are not forced. It's pure joy, pure natural joy in having this remarkably beautiful woman placed so perfectly into a royal role that represents our nation so splendidly. The pride of our nation. And we've already looked over the French visit and the Macrons, but just for a couple of seconds, let's look at the goodbyes here, because they all, I thought, all looked beautifully turned out. Even the horses looked beautiful for this farewell, and my understanding is that the two couples enjoyed each other's company and the conversation very much. They absolutely adore each other, don't they? They adore each other. You can see that for yourself in the interactions, actually, border on the sensual. Oh, ooh la la, ooh la la. The king enjoys a confident, mature, blonde woman, doesn't he? And, of course, Manny lingered on Her Majesty's cheeks. Oh, lusting after a seasoned queen, perhaps. He loves a MILF, doesn't he? You know, a mother I'd like to. He probably even likes a gilf. And now he's met a quilf. Well, ooh la la is all I can say. Ooh la la, le saucisson, ma crêpe Suzette. The king has been out representing, shaking a million hands with the good people of Kent, including many children, by the way, all generations. And it's interesting, isn't it? Because, of course, calling Charles the King was a stranger to our lips for so long. I'm used to it now, but sometimes one still finds oneself thinking, that's not the King, that's Prince Charles. You're trying to kid, my dear. That's Prince Charles, isn't it, lovely? Because we're all so used to him being Prince Charles. Isn't it curious? I'm au fait with calling him the King now. It takes people a while. But as for the children of the land, isn't it curious? You know, it's not foreign to their lips, to these very young ones coming through. He is the king, just as the late Queen Liz was the Queen. Do you understand? He's the king. which is wonderful to see, just in the same way that we struggle to think of the Queen as Princess Elizabeth as generations gone by. Knew her. Well, the King spent the day learning about the history and people of this coastal town of Deal, from medieval heritage to modern community spirit, and at the magnificent Walmer Castle, the historic fortress in which the Lord Warden of the Cinque Ports resides, the King met representatives from all 14 towns in the ancient Cinque Ports Confederation. I remember looking at that in previous years, and it's a fascinating tradition. The castle was home to his granny, the late Queen Mother, during her tenure as Lord Warden, and he planted a tree in the Queen Mother's garden. He loves keeping that connection, doesn't he, to his late granny that he was so close to. And at another castle, Deal Castle, the King discovered how volunteers have transformed a forgotten walled space into a thriving community haven. The Captain's Garden, as it's known, has been revitalised, and it boasts a wildlife-enriched space for residents and visitors. The King undertook his first official visit as patron at Walmer RNLI, the Royal National Lifeboat Institution. He watched an emergency launch demonstration, which is a reminder that Walmer Station has saved over 1,200 lives since 1856. He joined in with an environmental group's coastal clear-up alongside coastal cadets, whose 1,000 hours of annual volunteering keeps this stunning 3-mile coastline beautiful for everyone. Isn't it good to see him doing his bit? Meanwhile, Queen Camilla was in gorgeous Wiltshire. Of course, she feels very much at home there because it is her home. She was celebrating local charities who support the Wiltshire community. This was the 50th anniversary of the Wiltshire and Swindon Community Foundation, investing in people and funds to make a positive impact in the area. She officially opened Jamie's Farm's latest site at Lower Shockerwick Farm, and the Queen's been its patron for 11 years, and the charity offers young people experiencing challenges at school the opportunity to take part in immersive programmes on working farms. She was wilting in that Wiltshire heat, and I don't blame her for treating herself to a lovely ice cream. Sometimes you've just got to indulge, haven't you? Our summer queen was splendid in green. Another cake to cut, more blooms and nosegays to match her frock. But it was at Battersea Dogs and Cats Home where Her Majesty was in her absolute element, as many of us are when we're around little doggies. Well, little ones for me. I'm not so keen on the great big mutts, but I don't mind a few of the less yappy, cuddly, cosy little teddy bears, my dear. I've actually been spending quite a bit of time recently with a cockapoo by the name of Callie every Wednesday. That is one of Miss Fairfax's charges around Hampstead Heath, or actually around the parks. In South London we go. Little Callie, she's so well behaved, she really is. She only barks once or twice a day when she's hungry. And, she's quite the tonic, really. Oh, and I've mentioned David Gandy many times as an example of an extremely beautiful man, and Her Majesty got the pleasure of meeting him, as I have done on several occasions. And I tell you, my dears, aside from the fact that he's so beautiful in video and portraiture and photography and all the rest of it, in the flesh, it's an even higher level of aesthetic perfection. I would say. I mean, what a face, and the height of his career, not the height of it, but the formation of it when he came into consciousness as a youngster, you understand, it was 20 years ago, 25 years ago, well, still so beautiful. What a sublime face, oh, sublime. He's got a big nose, which is a beautiful nose as well. You wouldn't change it, would you? The agony is too much. Just the exquisite agony of that face and body is too much, my dear. I've got to stop myself, or I need the smelling salts again. I actually think, some might like this, I actually think he's got a look of Enoch Powell, if Enoch Powell was a 10, you understand. Something going on there in the eyes, those eyes. I'm sure Her Majesty came over all heated, rather like the cockapoo Callie and some of these dogs here that are in heat. And she unveiled the dog garden, designed by Monty Don, which is newly installed at the charity's London Centre. It was actually part of this year's Chelsea Flower Show, you see. This was a collaboration between the Royal Horticultural Society and BBC Two. You might have heard that there's been confirmation about the impending state visit from America. His Majesty the King will host the President of the United States of America, Donald J. Trump, accompanied by the First Lady Melania Trump, for a state visit to the UK from the 17th to the 19th of September 2025. Some have asked in the past, which I've always meant to address, how do you feel, Riv, about the fact that Melania, as I sometimes call our dear Melania, how Melania is ignored and shunned by the fashion press, the likes of Anna Wintour, you know, some of the big glossies that would run to put some of the Democratic Party candidates and first ladies on their covers, shall we say, but don't tend to invite Melania. How I feel about that? Well, I absolutely agree with you that it is a disgrace. It is a disgrace that these publications can't have the grace to at least find some sort of political neutrality for the sake of America as a nation. You know, it is a democratic nation. Whether or not you believe that the election process is free and fair, or there's been cheating or highfalutin business, whether or not, you know, it's still ostensibly a democratic nation. And surely this should be reflected, as it would have been in the 50s and 60s, and probably most decades up until recent ones. It doesn't reflect well, actually, on the industry. And also, they're doing themselves a great disservice, because whatever you think of Melania, there is no doubting the fact that she is impeccably turned out. She is a very stylish woman. She is always put together immaculately. Whether or not it's to your taste or not, I struggle to see how that can be denied. She also takes great risks. She's surrounded by a lot of gays, as you know, they all are, my dear. And she's au fait with the world of fashion, always well put together. You can't say that she's not elegant. And you also can't say that she's not fantastic looking. She's a fantastic looking woman, a model, an actual model. And it's actually a real goddamn waste, to tell you the truth. It's a real goddamn waste. Not saying that she would actually necessarily want to be paraded all over some of those covers, but if the rumours are true that she doesn't even get a look in or an invite, well, it's just petty, isn't it? Petty, immature and jejune. The king also met with the president of the Republic of Paraguay, who came to Windsor Castle. He's got good teeth, hasn't he? Princess Anne is somebody we all love and adore. And she enters her winter season this year, yes. Next month, mid-month, she's going to be turning 75 years of age. And in recognition of her unwavering commitment to the crown, Royal Mint are releasing the first UK coin made in her honour. The commemorative coin approved by the princess features her coat of arms and a faithful recreation of an official portrait which was captured by John Swannell. There's a range of presentations for sale, and you can get them from around £17, so nothing too harmful, all the way up to, you know, 4 or 5 grand, depending on your budget and your enthusiasm. But it's there for the taking. The Princess Royal celebrating 75 years, duty and devotion. Well, she's a hero to us, isn't she? And she was viewing heroes on Horse Guards Parade, where the Princess Royal attended the military musical spectacular Heroes. With over 250 people involved, the massed pipes and drums and Army Cadet Force and the King's Royal Horse Artillery to perform their annual display celebrating the musical talent of the British Army. In their 200th anniversary year, the Royal Mews were also in attendance for a display of horse-drawn state coaches and cars. I've been very humbled and absolutely thrilled to receive some birthday greetings from you and some birthday tips. It is truly and humbly appreciated. Thank you so much for your enthusiasm, for your devotion to me and to this channel. It's really, really appreciated, and I hope you're having a fabulous summer if you're in this hemisphere and a charming winter if you're elsewhere. I'll catch up with you very soon. Enjoy the rest of the day, and toodle pip.